Alright, so if I look at example 1A, I'm given x squared plus 10x plus blank, and I need to find my blank.
How do you find your blank?
To find your blank, you use the formula b over 2 squared that you wrote down. So it's 10 over 2 squared, because this is your b.
25.
So 10 over 2 squared.
Is that 25?
Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. So this becomes x squared plus 10x plus 25. And then what does it look like when we factor it?
1 and
plus 10 over 2, right? And what did we say 10 over 2 is?
5.
5. So x plus 5 squared. You need to put both parts. Yes. I can do another one. Okay, so I look at example 1b, x squared minus 9x plus blank. You find your blank by using b over 2 squared. So my b is negative 9, so negative 9 over 2 squared. Okay, well, negative 9 divided by 2 is negative 4.5. What's negative 4.5 squared?
17.
Grab a calculator. It's not. No. Grab a calculator instead of guessing. It's not negative 17.
Negative 18.
Negative 20.25. So it should be positive 20.25. But because of this minus, we make it a minus. Make sense? Okay.
How does this get to that?
What, 4.5 squared? Well, 4 squared is 16. 0.5 squared then must be, what, 4.25 or something in order for it to be 20.25? They do it in pieces.
I don't know.
Yep. Okay, so x squared minus 9x minus 20.25, because that's the answer we got right here. That's your first part of your answer. Then the second part is x plus b over 2 squared, but we just said that b over 2 is what? No, just the b over 2 part, not squared. Negative 4.5. So x plus negative 4.5 squared. That's the second part of your answer. You have to have both pieces. Kind of. Okay, so b is 12. So 12 over 2 squared. So it's 12 over 2. And what's 6 squared? 36. Okay, so we need 6. That was one of our answers. 36 is the other part, right? When we go ahead and put it together. So x squared plus 12x plus 36. That's the first part. Then when I write it factored, x plus, what number goes there? Nope. 6. You take your number before you square it. You take your b over 2 before you've squared it, and that goes in the second part. That's the first part. So let's look at 2a, x squared plus 14x equals 15. Okay, well, we're going to ignore this 15 for a moment, and we're going to look at just the x squared plus 14x. So x squared plus 14x plus some blank. Well, how do I find that blank? B over 2 squared. Okay, and what's my b? 14, so 14 over 2 squared, which is 7 squared, which is 49. Okay, I agree with all of that. So that tells me this becomes x squared plus 14x plus 49 equals, now we take into account the 15. And since we had a plus 49 on one side, we have to add a plus 49 to the other side. All I did was put plus 49. The 15 was already here. Because I crossed it out so you would ignore it at the beginning, and then you put it back in. Oh, don't cross it off that much then.
Or do we put the X?
Okay, and so what's 15 plus 49? 64. Okay, and how do we factor this? X plus what squared? 7. And you stop there.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay. So if I look at x squared minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. I can't have this minus 2 here, right? Because we never had that before. So I need to move that minus 2, so I only have x and 2x. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So then I have x squared minus 2x equals, what's 0 plus 2? 2. Okay, now we need to find our blank. So x squared minus 2x plus some blank equals 2 plus some blank. You put the blank on both sides. So b over 2, so negative 2 over 2 squared. What's negative 2 divided by 2? Negative 1. What's negative 1 squared?
1.
1. So you put 1 on each of those blanks. Okay, well, if I factor this side, x plus something squared equals, what's 2 plus 1?
3.
3. What goes in this blank? Negative 1. Then you stop. Yep. Let's do a few more like that, because I know it can be a little confusing when you have numbers on both sides. It's pretty easy when there's not, but when there's numbers on both sides, it can get complicated. Okay, so cross out the 9 for now. Okay, so let's find our blank. So b over 2 squared. 5 squared equals 25, okay? So x squared plus 10x plus 25. Negative 9 plus 25, because you have to put the plus 25 on both sides. And we bring back the negative 9. So now let's simplify. If I factor that, it becomes x plus what squared? 5. And what's negative 9 plus 25? 16. Now what? You're done.
One more.
That's it. You can do it in your head, yeah. Alright, you can use the restroom, yes, son. Last one, negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 20 equals 0. What was the first thing I said about the number in front of your x squared? You have to remove it. Okay, so how do I get rid of a multiplying by negative 2?
You divide.
Divide by negative 2. Whatever I divide, but I have to divide everything by negative 2. Okay, so x squared plus what's 12 divided by negative 2? Negative 6, so minus 6x. What's negative 20 divided by negative 2? Positive 10. What's 0 divided by negative 2? 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, so now I've got a more simplified equation. But I need to get rid of this plus 10 because I can't have that on this side. Okay. So x squared minus 6x. I'm going to go ahead and put my blank in there now. Equals negative 10 plus my blank. Okay.
Would it be 9?
Negative 6 over 2 squared. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 squared, which, yes, is 9, Kalani. So that becomes 9 and 9. All right. So, if I go ahead and factor this out, what goes into this blank? Negative 3. Okay, what's negative 10 plus, or not, negative 10 plus 9 is? Negative 1. Okay, so that's all you guys are working through today, and then you're going to finish it tomorrow, 579, 1 through 39.